Good morning, Katie Steinberg here, and I'm prepared to share with you again from Missing Piece this week. And this week was Kickball, so be prepared for Kickball and the Kingdom in this message. A real quick commercial before we hear the message. This coming week, this Sunday, is Sunday Soul Brunch at Ormond Brewing Company here in Ormond Beach. It starts at 10:30, and you can get your tickets through the event on our Facebook page or through the event on our website at ormondsmissingpiece.org.com. Either one. So anyway, our message from this week from Kickball and the Kingdom is as follows. In preparation for this week, I couldn't help but think about joy, childlike joy, the simple, pure pleasure of life without all the invasive worry and fear that we cultivate over our lifetimes. I'm reminded of this great story from the book of Matthew. The entourage, disciples, are arguing. And I try to give them a break here because the stuff Jesus is talking about is so foreign. Everything they know is based in a caste system where the family you were born into and the order in which you were born decide your whole life. There's no such thing as upward mobility, and don't even get me started about what it was like for women. All of that to say, they had a lot of questions when Jesus started talking about a different world order, a different kingdom, where class and family name and birth order didn't matter, where what did matter was being kind to one another and promoting peace and sharing what you have. But how would decisions be made? Who would be in charge? See, the funny thing about all this is Jesus didn't even make up these ideas. He pulled them right out of the ancient sacred texts of these Middle Eastern people. It just didn't seem real or true in light of their circumstances, in light of a system where they said one thing and did another, where they talked about being good and holy and taking care of the foreigner among them, but didn't do it. This sometimes makes me feel that we've made no progress at all. But back to the entourage. They're trying to figure out who will be given highest rank in the new world, in this new kingdom Jesus is describing. See, they're applying their earthly thinking to heavenly concepts, and it's foolishness. It's like trying to apply the laws of physics to matters of love. It just doesn't work. So Jesus, in his classic world-changing Jesus-y way, calls to a child and brings the kid over in front of everyone. And he says, unless you become like this child, unless you become humble and joyful and peaceful and trusting and loving and stop worrying about the things that just don't matter, unless you become like this child, you'll never see the kingdom. Now, I really don't believe this to be a threat of heaven and hell as I've heard it interpreted. What I hear in this is a call for us to engage in this life with childlike joy, to not allow the realities of this world or the social order of this world or who this world tells us we ought to be to look and feel successful, but instead to live into the kingdom that Jesus describes, where the first is last and everyone is cared for, and there are no orphans or lonely widows, but real community, where we all give of ourselves when we have it to give and lean on each other when we don't. That's the kingdom. But sometimes we forget, or it's too hard, or the siren song of this world is just too strong to resist, and we buy into the social status and ignore the needs of others and abandon our childlike selves, trade it in for unworthy replacement of worldly values. Thank God for grace and each other to help us through that. So last Sunday, as a reminder of what it's like to be a child, as a reminder of joy, as a reminder of humility, as a reminder of trust, as a reminder of the hope in the kingdom that Jesus describes, we all played kickball. And we remembered how loved we were, and that there's nothing we have to do to earn it, just like the children that were there among us. And we remembered that we live for purposes beyond the ones dictated by this world, but instead into the purposes of a God who wants so very much more for God's beloved children. Amen. I hope you'll be able to come out this week for the Sunday Soul Brunch. Don't forget to get your tickets in advance because we have a limited number, and you can get those at sundaysoulbrunch.com or ormondsmissingpiece.com or on the Facebook event. Grace and peace, my friends.